Let's start seated today. So just coming into nice Sukhasana. You can sit up on something if you, the spine's feeling a little tight, if the hips are feeling a little tight, that'll just make the situation a little easier. And let's just start with our right shin crossed in front. You can flex the feet a little bit. Good indication that you might need to sit up on something is that your knees are pretty high. So go ahead and find your sit bones here. Root down there, start to lift tall through the sides of the waist. And before we kind of get quiet, let's just roll the shoulders back a few times. Just getting some of the tension out there. And then roll forward. Good, roll back again. And then just allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. Close your eyes here, hands come to thighs. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. Do that a couple more times. So exhaling out any tension, any stress. And then eventually just starting to drop into your Jai breath, that inhale through your nose and that exhale through your nose, creating that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. Soak up that sound right away. Really use it to draw you inward, to calm you, maybe to soothe you. Notice if the inhale feels easier today, perhaps the exhale feels easier. Just observing and then trying to create this equanimity between the two, this evenness. And you can always count the breath initially if that helps you to find that. Observe if you're starting to grip the inner thigh, maybe soften there a little bit. Sometimes the shoulders start to creep up around the ears. So again, just let them release down. So sitting with effort, but there's also some ease. Good. Just gently blink your eyes open here. So if you have a strap, you might want to grab that. And if you don't have one, that's okay too. I'll give you another option. So let's actually take the strap over the left shoulder, stretch that arm up, and then start to spin the palm to face behind you. So pinky side of the hand is spinning in towards your cheek. And then you can even find a little more internal rotation by using your right hand to help you wrap in. Bend the elbow, reach the hand down. Just a couple breaths here, taking that right palm to the top of the elbow. So feeling that stretch on the tricep. So you could actually just stay here like this if this is feeling really intense. If you want to go into your Gomukhasana cow face arms, go ahead and reach that right arm out, palm faces forward. And then do the thumbs down sign. So you start to externally rotate. Good. Reach at a diagonal, bend the elbow. And then this is where you might grab the strap. A few of us might be able to get fingertips. They're both good places to be. So root into your sit bones as you exhale. Press this right shoulder head back as you inhale, lift your left elbow up. And then we're just going to take a gentle little forward fold here. You're probably not going to go very far. Like kind of to halfway. You might not even make it there. Keep pressing right shoulder head up. Keep extending forward through the left shoulder. Big, big stretch in the shoulders. Are you breathing? Keep that breath smooth and steady. You can kind of press the back of your head into that upper arm, that left arm. Good. Let's inhale, come on up. Good. So release your arms. They come out at a diagonal. Deep inhale. And then as you exhale, just twist to the left, or to the right rather. So left hand comes to the outside of your right thigh. If that is too deep of a twist this early on, left hand can be to left thigh. Pressing shoulder heads back here. Maybe moving towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. Good. And then stay in the twist, but as you exhale, bring your gaze out over your left shoulder or in that direction. You might start to feel a pretty significant little stretch, so you might just be looking more forward. Keep pressing both shoulder heads back. Nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you unwind. So extend your legs to straight, give them a little shake. And then we recross with the left shin in front, hands on thighs. Let the eyelids close. Make sure that you're sitting nice and tall. And then find that sound of your breath, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. Observe if sitting with this shin in front feels different in your body. It might be super noticeable. It might be really subtle. Soaking up that sound of your breath. So such a great tool that we have to help focus us, calm us. Use your inhale to find lots of length through the sides of the waist. You're breathing space between the distal and the vertebra and the spine. Good, and then gently blink your eyes open as you inhale, stretch that right arm up. So again, you're spinning the pinky side of the hand in towards your face, finding internal rotation. You can use your left hand to help you find that a little more. Bend that elbow, and then just a couple of breaths here. Left hand pressing on top of your elbow. You might not need to do that, especially if you're a little tighter, a little bulkier in the shoulders. Oh, and I should have had us change our strap. If you didn't do that, go ahead and do that. So you can stay here like this. If you want to go a little further, reach your left palm off to the side. Do the thumbs down here so your palm spins behind you. Start to angle that arm down. Bend the elbow. Ooh, this is my tight side. So grabbing the strap. Exhale, root down into your sit bones, and then inhale, lengthen up through your right elbow. Press that left shoulder head back. And then a tiny, tiny amount here. You can start to hinge forward at your waist. So that just takes it into the hips a little bit as well, especially that outer left hip. You might not go very far. It also kind of intensifies the stretch that you're feeling in the spine, particularly the mid and upper back. Breath smooth and steady. Good. Let's inhale. Come on up. So take your arms at an angle, deep inhale. And then as you exhale, start to twist to the left. So right hand to the outside of that left thigh, or it could be to the inside of the right thigh if this is super challenging starting out. Exhale, root down into sit bones. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe start to bring your gaze out over that left shoulder for a breath or two. Really nice work. These look good. Keep in your twist, but start to bring your gaze out over that right shoulder. It might not get all the way there, so that's going to intensify the stretch that you feel through that left side of your neck. Beautiful. Keep those shoulder heads pressing back. Feel that openness across your heart and chest. Nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, start to unwind, just come back to center. Extend your legs to straight, give them a little shake. And then recross, make your way to your tabletop position. So setting up for a little cat-cow. Landing with shoulders over wrists, knees underneath your hips. And then you can press down into your shins, into your feet as you inhale, arching your lumbar. Chest comes forward through the gates of your shoulders. As you exhale, round into your cat stretch, really let the neck go. Inhaling, arching. Good, exhaling, rounding in. And you continue like this. So you find a pace that feels right for you today. Just warming up the spine, checking in, noticing how things are feeling. Keeping some even pressure in your fingers here, all of those knuckles in your hands. Good, couple more rounds. Good, inhale, shift forward. All right, inhale up to neutral. Walk your hands forward about an inch or two, and then inhale, shift forward. So we're gonna keep the booty lifting today. We're gonna start to bend the elbows. So we're gonna hit chest and chin. So kind of a modified little chaturanga here. Good. So snake the legs back, extend the chest forward. You find your low cobra. Beautiful. Couple of breaths here. Elbows are squeezing in. Heart is lifting up towards the ceiling. And you don't have to throw your head up here. So you're keeping the front of the neck long, the back of the neck long. We're going to curl our toes under. So fire up the legs. Feel the top of the legs, or the backs of the legs press up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to press up, lead with your hips, just pull back, downward facing dog. You might pass through a plank pose, you might not. Both are good. And then just taking a couple of breaths here, your ears land between your biceps, those inner arms. You're gazing between your feet with your hips distance apart. And you're stretching the sit bones up towards the ceiling for this first downward dog of the day. It can be really nice to have a bend in the knees, especially if you're feeling a little tight. Good. So let's inhale, shift forward into our plank pose. Come to knees. Again, that funky little chaturanga. So chest, chin, booty lifts. Yeah, elbow squeeze in. Slide back, find your low cobra. Beautiful. So just a little different, mix it up. Curl toes under. All right. Pull back, lead with your hips, downward dog. And let's do one more of those. So inhale, use your belly to help pull you forward. Legs really strong here. Come to your knees. Keep the booty lifted. Chin, chest, touch. And then on your inhale, you snake forward, lengthen out. Nice work, Pam and Laura. Curl your toes under. Legs really firm. Pull back. Downward facing dog. From here, take a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. And then let's just start to walk our feet forward to meet our hands. So just come with your feet about hips distance apart. Again, you could have a nice little bend here. As you inhale, fingertips on the floor, hands on shins or thighs, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward, Ardha Uttanasana, nice. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Good, inhale, chest lengthens. Exhale, fold. Good, inhale, chest extends forward. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. This time, press down into your feet, take your arms out wide. And then reach up overhead. Bring your right fingertips to your left wrist as you exhale, side bend to the right. Couple of breaths here. Keep pressing evenly into your feet. Feel this nice stretch to this left side. So you're doing that, you're wrapping these right ribs up towards the ceiling. Maybe you look up underneath that top arm. Good, inhale up to center. Left fingertips to right wrist, get really long there. Root into your feet as you side bend to the left. Spinning those left ribs up as you feel that stretch through the right side of your body. Beautiful work, everyone. And then we inhale, come up to center. As we exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Keep that right foot forward, step your left foot way back. Land on your knee, and then hands up to this right thigh. Inhale, arms reach up. Good, so just a low crescent pose here. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Curl your left toes under. All right, and then we're gonna step back to our plank pose. Take an inhale. Lower to your knees, chin, chest, elbow squeeze in, and then as you inhale, come forward into your cobra. So this time your option, you stay here like this or you slide your hands back a little further, wrists under elbows. Inhaling into your upward facing dog, legs really active, shins, knees, thighs, lift up. As you exhale, you make your way back to your downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step that foot through. So feet are about hips distance apart, hands to your left thigh, direct your tailbone down. Inhale, rise up into your low crescent pose. Feel all that length through the sides of your waist. As you exhale, hands plant, curl right toes under, step that right foot to meet your left foot. Inhale, chest lengthens, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet, stretch arms out and up. Good, as you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Inhaling, reaching. Exhale, fold in. Good, inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Left foot stays forward, reach your right foot back, land on that knee. And then inhale, arms stretch up. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat, curl your right toes under, step to your plank pose, take an inhale here, and then exhale your choice. You can do that funky little chaturanga with knees, head, chest first hit. You can do full chaturanga. Inhale into your low cobra or your upward facing dog. Beautiful work. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step your foot through, land on your left knee. Use your inhale to stretch up, feel lots of length. As you exhale, hands come down to the mat. Curl those left toes under, step that foot to meet the right foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, chest extends. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down into your feet. Stretch your arms out and up. Good, as you exhale, hands come together at your heart. This time as you inhale, let's go ahead and take our feet about hips distance apart. And actually, if you do have a block, go ahead and just grab a block and place it between your thighs. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. So just giving a little support here for our chair pose. So as you stand tall, as you root into the feet, you squeeze in on the block. It feels like you're gonna spin it back behind you, but you're tempering that by getting a little release of your tailbone. All right, lower belly is pulling in and up. As you inhale, knees bend, arms reach up. So now it feels more like you're gonna spin that block towards the floor. You can take your arms as wide as you need to here so that you can bring your elbows towards straighter. Feel this lift of the sternum. Toes should be pretty light, so most of the weight is in the heels here. Good, sink a little lower, nice work. Ooh, you feel this extra in your quadriceps if you have the block. As we exhale, keep that block. Hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So keep the block if you have it, and then just tiptoe back to your plank pose. If you don't have the block, you can just step back to your plank. Take a breath or two here, nice work. So now we're spinning that block up towards the ceiling. Gaze is an inch or two in front of your fingertips. Okay, so we're gonna shift forward on our toes. If you've got the block, exhale, lower, chaturanga. I want you to keep your toes curled under and then find your upward facing dog. Keep squeezing that block. Beautiful, Laura and Pam. Good. As you exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Then you can just grab the block if you've got it. Pull it out of the way, off to the side. Good work. So let's inhale. Lift our right leg up. Keep the hips even. The outer hips are squeezing in towards each other. Exhale, curl in, knee to nose. Good. Inhale, pull back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot through between your hands. We're going to heel toe this right foot to the left twice. Spin into the back edge of your left foot. So we are heel to arch. Keep a deep bend in this right knee. Keep pressing that knee back behind you. Inhale. Windmill your arms up and over. Good. Taking an exhale here, sinking in. Then we're going to inhale. Straighten that front leg. Reach the arms up overhead. As you exhale, bend in. Okay, so inhale, we're going to reverse the warrior. Start to straighten that front leg. Exhale. Find your Virabhadrasana 2. Let's do that one more time. So inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. And then let's stay here in the legs. So you're pressing to the inner edge of that right foot. The knee is tracking back behind you, but you're releasing this left hip down at the same time. Take your left arm up. Use your right hand to help wrap in. You can grab your strap if you need to. So again, you can do this variation here. If you want to go for the full version, reach that right arm out. Good. So left elbow reaches, right shoulder head presses back. Breath smooth and steady. Torso is square to the long edge of your mat. So sometimes we start to twist a little bit. So if that's happening to you, just drag the left side of your waist back. And then let's inhale here. Press that right leg to straight. Parallel your feet. We're going to take a little forward fold. So as you squeeze into the outer edges of the feet, the outer edges, everything comes into the midline. Deep inhale here. As you exhale, hinge forward. So again, depending upon how tight you are, you might only go about halfway down. There's a little more flexibility. You might hinge forward a little further. Keep that idea of that right shoulder head pressing back, elbow extending forward. Good. And then notice if all of the weight has gone into your heels. Maybe you're gripping your toes. Try to find that center place. These look really good. All right, root down into your feet, lead with your heart. Inhale, come on up. All right, so release the hands out from deep within this right hip socket. Turn the toes out. Find your Virabhadrasana 2. Good, and then as we exhale, we windmill arms up and over. Palms plant. See your choice here. You step back to downward facing dog. You step to plank. Again, if you like that little chin chest variation, you can do that. You can do full chaturanga to your upward dog. So lots of options. Nice work. As you inhale, lift your left leg. As you exhale, shift your shoulders over your wrist, curl your knee into your nose. Good. Inhale, stretch back, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, knee to nose. And then step that left foot through. So you're going to heel toe it to the right twice. Spin into the back edge of your right foot. So you are heel to arch. Nice deep bend in that left knee. As you inhale, windmill arms up and over. Virabhadrasana 2. As you exhale, sink in, feel your tailbone release. Beautiful work. And then as you inhale, start to straighten that front leg. Stretch arms up and over. Beautiful. Exhale, left knee bends. Find your Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, reverse that warrior. As you do it, start to straighten that left leg. Good. Exhale, back into your Virabhadrasana 2. Nice work. One more time like that. Inhale, reverse, straightening that front leg. Yeah, as you exhale, find your Virabhadrasana 2. So just a couple of breaths here. Pressing to the inner edge of the left foot, that knee presses behind you as this right hip releases down, but then make sure that your torso is still squaring to the long edge of your mat. So you might have to kind of pull back on that right waist. And then we keep the legs just like this. Stretch your right arm up. Find that internal rotation. You can use your hand to help you. Bend the elbow. Left hand to elbow, you could stay here like this, or maybe you come into the full stretch here. So finding your cow face arms, Gomukhasana arms in Virabhadrasana 2 legs. Left shoulder head presses back as that right elbow reaches up. As you do that, can you direct your tailbone down? Can you squeeze your outer hips in? So everything, it just feels like it's coming into the center. Breath smooth and steady. On your next inhale, keep your arms like this. Press that left leg to straight. Parallel your feet. Good. So inhale, heart reaches. As you exhale, hinge forward at your weight. Try to keep the weight very balanced in your feet. Hinge forward, fold in. You don't have to be very far at all. So you're just listening to your body. This is really intense in the shoulders for a lot of us. For some of us, this can be very intense in the groin, the outer hip. So you always are adjusting as you need to. These look good. Couple more breaths. Good. As you inhale, press into your feet, lead with your heart. All right, so find that little diagonal stretch and then bring the arms perpendicular to the shoulders from deep within that left hip socket. Turn that leg out, right toes turn in. Deep inhale. And then exhale, find your Virabhadrasana 2. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands come up and over. Options, step to downward dog, step to plank, pull to dog, or take a chaturanga vinyasa. Whatever you're needing today. And then we pull back here, we take a few breaths. And I want you to really check in. Notice how this downward dog is hopefully starting to feel a little easier, a little more spacious. And if you're not there yet, that's okay too. The breath slow down. Good. As you inhale, you find a little bend in your knees, come to your tippy toes. End of your exhale, you can step right then left, or you can hop both feet through, you can walk forward. Inhale, chest extends forward. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, knees bend, arms reach up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Good work. Exhale, press your legs to straight. Hands release by your side. All right, as you inhale, knees bend, arms reach. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Try to find that feeling of that block squeezing between your thighs, even though it's not there. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. So bend your knees, plant your palms, keep your gaze forward, left foot way back, then right foot. Good, shift forward on your toes, lower down, whichever variation you want. Inhale into low cobra or upward facing dog. Beautiful work. As you exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. We're gonna inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. So we rise into our crescent pose this time. So that back leg is strong and steady. Come on up on your inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Pull back to your downward dog or take a chaturanga vinyasa. Keep shoulder heads lifting if you're doing that. We all meet back in downward dog. Beautiful work, everyone. As you inhale, lift that left leg. Exhale, step that foot through. So strong right leg. Come on up into your crescent pose. You want to make sure that you are about hips distance apart with your feet. Exhale, hands come down. Good. Downward dog, plank, chaturanga. All are really good options. Few breaths in your downward facing dog. Good. So from here, let's inhale, lift our right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. And again, land on that left knee. So you might want to have it padded up this time. So you can slide a blanket underneath there. You can double up your mat. And let's just melt in for a couple of breaths here. So hands can be on blocks if you're a little tighter. Slide your left knee back as far as you can. So really big stretch on this left hip flexor. Send your exhale there. And we're going to turn this into a little twist. You could even use your strap here if you need to. So root down into your left palm. We're going to start to bend our left knee. So I'm going to turn to the side here. You're going to reach back and see if you can find the foot. So play around. You might be grabbing the big toe side. You might be able to bring the thumb to the pinky side of the foot. Good. And then you start to press that heel using the strength of your arm in towards the glute. You might be able to come down onto your left forearm, and then you're wrapping your left ribs up towards the ceiling. Good, keep pressing to the inner edge of that right foot. So big, big, intense stretch. And if grabbing the foot isn't working for you, that's also okay, of course. Keep that breath moving. This is intense, I know. Okay, so without slingshotting that leg back, go ahead and release if you have the foot. All right, so one hand on either side of your right foot, curl those left toes under, and we're just gonna pull back, downward facing dog. Good, and we're gonna find that to the second side. So as you inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step that foot through, give yourself enough space, and then start to slide that right knee back any amount. Hands can be on blocks here. Few breaths, just kind of feeling things out, noticing what's going on. All right, so you can root down into that right palm, start to bend the right knee. So kind of backstroke, and you can either find big toe side of the foot. You might be able to kind of externally rotate that left shoulder a little more and find the inside. Good, and then you start to release that right heel towards your buttocks. You might come down to that right forearm. That's another way to intensify things. And then you're spinning towards the left, so there's a little twist here. Try to keep your shoulder blades squeezing in towards each other. So you kind of have to wrap that right shoulder in. Smooth, steady breath. Good, nice and easy. Don't slingshot out here. Just release that right foot. And then again, we are just gonna curl our right toes under, pull back, downward facing dog. Take a nice deep inhale here. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Good, and then go ahead and come down to your knees. And we're just gonna come into a little hero's pose stretch. So I'm gonna give you a couple of options. So we just did a big stretch on the front of the leg. So we're warmed up for this. That being said, you might want a block or a blanket. So I'll show you how, a couple options to do this. So the block can come to the inner edges of your feet. You're squeezing in, my knees are together, and then I sit back. So again, it gets into the front of the leg. If you're a little more flexible, maybe you sit down between your feet. So that's also an option, or you can slide a blanket underneath there. If neither of these are working for you because it feels like too much intensity in your knees, rather than taking your feet wide, you're gonna actually sit back on your heels. And then you can also modify this if needed by sitting on a block. So a lot of options. Keep that breath smooth and steady wherever you're at. So again, big, big quadricep stretch. You're gonna be feeling this on the tops of the feet too. We're just gonna take a couple more breaths here. If you feel like you have a little more room, maybe You take your hands back. You could potentially come to forearms. You might be able to lay all the way down. I find sometimes in this version I have to release the buttocks flush forward so I can get that forward directionality with my tailbone. It just feels a little easier on the lower back. So hero's pose, Virasana. Good. And let's start to, if you leaned back at all, just make your way up. Ooh, and then we're going to come to our tabletop. And I always think it feels so nice to just circle out the ankles here. Kind of bring a little life back to that area. Good. And then because we're here and we want to do the opposite thing, let's go ahead and sit back. So we're going to curl the toes under. You're probably going to have to reach back, snuggle that pinky side under, and then you're sitting back here. We won't be here super long, I promise. 2 super intense stretches coming at you. All right, rock forward again. Same thing. Just wiggle, stretch out the toes. Hallelujah, that is over. And then let's pull back to our downward facing dog. Inner arm wraps towards the outer arm. Front of the thigh presses to the back of the thigh. So you really feel muscle firm to bone. Good. As we inhale, find a little bend in our knees, come to our tippy toes. End of our exhale, step left and right, walk forward, hop through. Inhale, chest lengthens. Good. As you exhale, hinge, forward folded. Inhale, press down into your feet, stretch arms out and up. As you exhale, hands come together at your heart. Okay, so let's just find a little balance pose here. So coming into our dancer pose, Natarajasana. So feet about hips distance apart. And let's start rooting down into our left foot. So feel that outer hip squeeze in, feel the lower belly pull in and up. All right, and then just start to bend your right knee. All right, and then let's stretch this left arm up. So just keeping your body nice and long here. And then let's reach the right arm up, backstroke. And then find the outer edge of the foot. So you're on the pinky side, your thumb is facing forward. Okay, keep reaching up through these fingertips. Start to press that right thigh back. And then maybe as you're doing that, you start to hinge forward. So you're kind of leaning and then kicking. Keep that right elbow squeezing in. And you're going to notice all kinds of work happening in that standing foot, especially if you're on a carpeted surface. It's going to work a little harder. Nice. Feel that widening, that openness across your heart and chest. And then nice and slow, make your way out. So just start to upright yourself, release that right foot. Those looked really good. Give the legs a little walk out. And we take that second side. So standing leg is the right foot this time. So feel a lot of strength there. Feel that outer right hip squeeze in. Okay, let's reach our right arm up. Just to kind of counterbalance us here. And then we're just gonna start to bend this left knee. So we're trying to keep hips facing the same direction. Good, and then we're gonna inhale, reach the left arm up, and then backstroke. Find the outer edge of the foot. Good. Start to kick that foot into your hand. Keep the elbow squeezing in towards the waist. And then maybe you start to hinge forward. Breath smooth and steady. We often start to hold the breath in these balance poses. It makes sense because we're super focused. You're also gazing at something in front of you. You're going to notice, you can see my standing foot is wobbling back and forth a lot. And that's after 15 years or so of doing this. So definitely these standing poses, big strengthening poses for the feet. Go ahead and inhale, come on out. Give everything a little walk out. And just release your arms by your side. Close your eyes here. Take a couple of breaths and then also check in and notice how you're feeling. All right, blinking your eyes open. As you inhale, arms reach out and up. As you exhale, hinge forward, fold in. Inhale, chest extends forward, gaze comes forward. Your choice here. You're gonna bend knees, plant palms. You're either gonna step to your downward facing dog or to your plank pose. If you're stepping to your plank, you can take your version of your Chaturanga Vinyasa. Good. As you pull back to your downward dog, take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. All right, so then just lower your knees down. So find your tabletop. So shoulders over your wrists, fingers spreading, pressing evenly, knees are underneath your hips. All right, so we are going to, let's see. We're gonna reach the right toes back. So curl them under. All right, we're gonna roll to the inner edge of that foot and then just make sure that your left shoulder is over your left wrist. And we start to open up. And then really point those left toes to the inseam of that left foot. Firm down into that shin. All right, so stay with me here. We're gonna start to, and this is way harder than the balance we just did, in my humble opinion. Lift that left leg up. So you don't have to lift the right leg up. Good work. And then you're just gonna bend at the knee, like you're gonna kick your own butt. And then see if you can grab the foot with your right hand. And then if you've got it, kick that foot into your hand a little further. Lean that right shoulder head back. Are you breathing? Are you smiling? If you're crashing, laugh. It's not too far to the floor. Okay, and then the same way that you came in, come on out of this. So nice and slow. Good work. And then find your tabletop. Beautiful. Couple rounds of cat-cow to let that madness go. And then we're gonna come to that second side. So from your tabletop, find your belly. It's gonna give you a little support here. We reach, left toes back, curl them under on the mat. So we're like in a little half plank pose here. We find this little modified Vashisthasana side plank pose. So roll to the inner edge of that left foot. Start to stretch that left arm up. You're lengthening through the right side. Shoulder blades are stacking on top of each other. And then I find it really helps to point those right toes towards the center of that left foot and then firm down into that shin. Good, find your belly. And then lift that right leg. And I think if you just imagine that you're standing on that foot, lift that left leg. And imagine that you're standing on that foot. So you've got some flexion in the foot. All right, so here we go. Just bend the knee like you're gonna kick your own butt. And then find that backstroke. Grab the outer edge of the foot. So a little Natarajasana in this modified Vashisthasana. Shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other. You're opening up. You might be wrapping those right ribs up towards the ceiling ever so gently. Good work. And then as gracefully as you came in, back your way out. And then you unwind, find your tabletop. And this time let's pull back to child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. If you want to get into the hips a little more, take your knees a little wider. And then just melt forward. And let's take a deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Let's find a little twist here. So just start to walk your arms off to the right. You can lay your belly out over that right thigh. Little twist, left ribs wrapping towards that right thigh. Good, walk back to center. And then off to the left. Good, inhale back to center. Roll on up, and then you're just gonna come onto your back here, and we're gonna set up for some bridge pose. Let's grab our block again. And just take that between our thighs just to give us a little feedback as we come on up. I find it's nice, it just helps you to engage the glutes a little more, gives you a little more directionality with your tailbone. So just sliding that block, and then you're squeezing here. It's like you're gonna spin that block down. Arms by your side. Good, and then as you inhale, just notice how there's a natural curve in your lower back. With the block, it's a little less. As you exhale, really squeeze the block, press into your feet, direct tailbone forward, lift up. Keep your hips up as you inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Good. As you exhale, keep arms reaching up overhead, just lower your hips down. Inhale, release your arms by your side. Just squeezing the block a lot. Exhale, press into your feet, lift your hips up. Inhale, stretch arms up overhead, really press down into those shoulder blades. Good, exhale, hips release down. Inhale, arms release by your side. Feel that gentle little curve in your lumbar. Let's do 2 more rounds of this. So as you exhale, squeeze the block, direct your tailbone forward, hips lift. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, lower hips down. Inhale, lower arms down. Exhale, hips lift, squeezing the block a lot. Inhale, stretching arms up overhead. Exhale, release hips down. Inhale, release arms by your side. And this time, as you exhale, press into your feet, lift hips up, squeeze that block, and then start to walk your shoulders underneath you. You can grab the outer edges of your mat or interlace your fingers. We're just going to take a few good breaths here. Notice all of that length you've created through the sides of your waist. Breathe into those spaces on the inhale. Make sure you're not rolling to the outer edges of the feet. Again, if you have the block, that kind of prevents that from happening. Good, one more deep inhale here. As we exhale, release the mat or your interlacing, slowly lower down, and then you can just move the block out from your thighs. Just walk your feet so they're as wide as your mat. Bring your arms out in a T shape, and then move super, super slow. So exhale, knees fall one direction. Inhale to center. And then exhale, they fall the opposite direction. Just continue like that. Nice and easy. It's helping to release out the lower back. Good, and then the next time your knees are off to the right, just hang there for a couple of breaths. If you wanted to take right ankle above your left knee just to intensify the stretch a little bit, you're welcome to do so. You can be gazing up here. Maybe you roll onto your left cheek, gaze out over those left fingers. All good options. Good. If you have that right ankle crossed above your left knee, just release. Feet stay wide as you drop your knees off to the left. Same thing here. You can take left ankle above your right knee, side to side. This can feel really different. So if it's too intense, you just skip that on this side. Maybe you're gazing out over your right fingertips. Good. If you have that ankle cross, just uncross knees, come up to center. Good. And then just give them a nice little squeeze into your chest. You can rock and roll a little bit from side to side. And then place your feet down on the mat as though you're going to come into your bridge pose again. We're going to get into the hips a little bit here. So we're going to take right ankle, cross it above the left knee, flex that foot a lot, and then just take your right hand into your right thigh, gently press forward. So you're trying to find space in this lower right waist. So we're all built a little different. If you're getting a nice intense hip stretch here, this is where you're going to stay. If you feel like you have a little further to go, you can start to bend your left knee into your chest. You're going to reach your hand through this triangle you've made, your right hand, and you either interlace around your thigh or your shin. So you don't want to pop up a lot here. You want to keep shoulder blades pressing down into the mat. You could slide a blanket or a block underneath your head if that feels a little better. Consciously shifting your breath here. You're letting it slow down and stretch out. So the inhale's getting a little longer. The exhale's getting a little longer. You can hold on to your ujjayi. You're definitely inhaling and exhaling through your nose still, but maybe not with that same heated ujjayi quality. So stay here if this feels good. If you feel like you have a little more, you can do more of a reclining single pigeon. So you're going to fork lift your elbows around that left shin, and then you can take that, right shin, you can take that left foot on the floor, or maybe you start to extend that leg to straight. If you're doing that, you keep that leg really active, toes point up towards the ceiling. You might start to get a little more stretch on that inner right thigh in this version as well. Again, just check in with that right foot. Make sure that it's flexed. So if you took the supine reclining pigeon, bend that left knee back in. Good. And then we just make our way out of this side, wherever you're at. So setting up for side B. So left ankle crosses above that right thigh, flex the foot. And then you can just take your left hand into that left thigh, gently press forward. So for many of us, this is like max. We're getting a good stretch. So this is where you stay for the next several breaths. If you tend to be a little more flexible in your hips, so that's true of women generally, maybe you bend that right knee in, interlacing fingers either around your shin or your thigh. And even here, you can take that left elbow into the left thigh, just to give you a little more leverage, a little more hip opening. You might be observing how this side feels different in your body, if it feels different. How it feels different today as compared to how it felt the last time you were on your yoga mat. So our yoga practice is really fluid. Even though we're doing a lot of the same poses, they always feel really different. So finally, if you want to go a little further here into that reclining single pigeon, you make a little fork lift with your elbows around that left shin. You can keep your right knee bent or extend that leg to straight. And then do point those toes up towards the ceiling. Just give that leg a little gravity, a little weight. If we were in the upright version, of course, our foot would be going the other direction. A few more good breaths wherever you're at. Good, nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, wherever you're at, you just start to make your way out here. Good, pull knees in, and then let's just grab between our thighs, start to straighten the legs, pull in a little bit. A couple of us might be able to grab the big toes with our middle and index finger. It's just finding a little reclining Paschimottanasana. One final little hamstring stretch here before we come into our Shavasana. If you wanted to take the legs wide for a breath or two, coming into a reclining Upavista, you can do that as well. Flex the feet, keep them active wherever you're at. Good, and then just move towards your final resting pose. Blanket under the knees is really good if there's sensation under your lower, or if there's sensation in your lower back. Otherwise, feet wide, knees knock in towards each other, or classic Shavasana here. Maybe snuggle the shoulders underneath you, take the arms nice and wide, palms face up, and then close your eyes if they're not already. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. Allow your body to completely relax. So we've worked really hard. That feels good, but now we rest really hard. We give our body and brain an opportunity to assimilate all of this really beautiful work we've done. And we take rest, which is also really important. We get quiet, we get still. So from here, take a deeper inhale and let the breath go as you exhale, ha. Wiggle fingers, toes. Just bring some gentle movement back to your body. Stretch out. Bring your awareness back to your body. Very gently, staying soft and quiet. Roll to one side or the other. Find the fetal position. Use your hands to help you press up to a comfortable seat. One final check-in. So again, how do you feel differently now than you did when you first landed on your mat an hour ago? What's shifted for you? Is there more space, a greater sense of ease in your body? Is there a sense of strength and presence? How is your breath different? And finally, how has your headspace shifted? Hopefully you're feeling a little calmer, a little more focused. And send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for working hard, for making the effort. And just promise yourself that you're going to carry a little of this good feeling with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. And bring your palms together at your heart. And just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today. Thank you, ladies. Good to see all of you. Namaste.